1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click you choose, you better
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Now, let's hop right up into this video. I made a video a couple days ago, and the title of that video was, Are Blacks Being Attacked, or are we being too sensitive? Of course, you know, my position was, of course, that yes, blacks are being unfairly attacked, right? And I feel that for as long as I have been doing YouTube, I have seen some unjustly attacks on blacks by other people, right? But of course, I also felt that if I say these things, people who are not black are going to say, well, chill, you know, you're black and you're biased, so on and so forth, right? So what I did, of course, to strengthen and validate my point was I used a video, or I mentioned a video that Gunar had made 2 years ago saying that blacks were the most hated in prison. I hadn't watched the video in its entirety at the making of that video, right? And then so I see a video released today by Gunar, and basically what Gunar has done is he has came and did a complete 180 and walked back his entire statement. And I definitely want to be respectful to Gunar. He was respectful in his video, and I want to send the same respect back. But I definitely, the question remains to be asked, why suddenly did he reverse his position? He has stated, right, that Dubs is his dog and he's going to back his play, right or wrong. You know, that's his get down. That's his get down. I was taught differently, man. I was taught that if your homie is wrong, you don't back his play unless things get physical. What would I look like backing the play of a person when in my mind, I believe that he is wrong? So anyway, let me just show you a quick couple of edits from the video that he put up today, because I'm going to play his older video in its entirety, and it's rather lengthy. So let's just get into this now. Let's get into what Gunar is saying he actually meant in the video that he put up 2 years ago.
Are you guys ready? Well, I am. And see, my name was mentioned in a video. And first and foremost, I want to say respects to 16 to life chill. He mentioned my name in a video where he was trying to establish basically why a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people are saying blacks are basically the most hated. Okay. Now, I did a video a long time ago where I mentioned that I felt the brothers were hated on, or the brothers were hated, right? Within the CDC and even on the streets. And I need to clarify some things because I seen that Chill mentioned my name and says that he's seen the video, or he's going to watch the full video, and that he hasn't quite yet watched the video, but he's going to react to it later on down the line. But he used me as a basis for what he was doing, you know, his content. And I watched his video, good video. I want to say this, not everybody hates the blacks. I don't. And when I say they're the most hated on the yard, they're not more hated by Norteños or Southsiders or whites or natives or others. They do most of the hating on each other. Okay. Most of the hatred that I've seen personally is not fights between the blacks and the Southsiders, or the blacks and the whites, or the blacks and the natives. Most of the fighting I see is in-house, and it's between other sects, other groups. I mean, different sections. I see the Bloods and Crips not seeing eye to eye all the time.
Now, just real quick, that wasn't a continuance of what he was saying. I just edited this to have it so it wouldn't be so long because I want to get into this other video.
I've seen the Crips from LA and the NCs go at it a few times. I've seen the Kumis, man, Kumis and the Bloods run up on the Crips, and I've seen the Crips run up on them. They always got something going on within themselves. That's not what I meant on the video. What I meant on the video is the brothers are hated by the brothers. The Mexicans are hated by the Mexicans. Are you guys ready?
So that's what he goes on to say, that now he's walking it back. He's done a complete 180. He's saying that's not what he meant. But now I'm going to show you this video that he made 2 years ago before all this somewhat controversy was going on. And I don't have to interject and say much. The video speaks for itself. He was clear. He was concise. He articulated his position, and just watch the video.
As you can tell by that thumbnail right there, indubitably, we're about to get it in, man, in the menudo style, in direct fashion. Let's get straight to it, because that's how we do it. Coming from the west side. Utterly, I can't sing worse shit, but so I was scared I could spit this YouTube shit. Let me give you some knowledge that you can't get in college. Sit down here right now. We're about to get straight into it. Why are the Africanos, the blacks, right? The black faction, the most hated in the California Department of Corrections in prison? Why are they hated? Why you wanna play your hate on me? Why you wanna play? Why are they hated on? Why are they the most hated group? Well, I'm about to tell you why. Straight up. Okay, in prison, you have different groups. Okay, you have different organizations. You have different makeups of people. So, okay, I know we're all the same. I know. Before you get your fucking thong in a thong, before you get it.
Now, let me just stop right there and add that he clearly said, why are they the most hated group? But let's just listen. He goes on to even further his point and make it clear in what his argument was.
It all in a bunch. I'm sorry, dispensa la tira. I don't make up these rules. This is just the way it is, okay? Back in the days, 60s, 70s, everything went along racial lines, okay? Everything was divided up according to your race. I know we're all the human race, but Sasuke, people get it twisted. They got it all fucked up. Back in the days, it was very racial, okay? Very hypocritical. Very, you stay over there and eat chicken, I'll stay over here and eat meatloaf type shit, right? You stay over there and eat a taco, I'll stay over here and eat chow mein. You stay over there and eat fucking stroganoff, I'm gonna stay over here and eat Arby's, right? That's just the way it was. People had their own reasons for it, and it was like that, okay? Those were the rules back in the days. Somewhere along the line, it became very gang-related, a gang-related issue, and the racial aspect of it kind of went on the wayside, or did it? One never knows, does one? And that's why the gun is here to give you the rundown real fast and indubitably smooth. Trip out now. They're the most hated group. Okay, that's a fact. That's a fact. There's been guerra with a lot of different groups in prison throughout the history. Of course, we know about norteños and sureños. Let's get it on. Orale, Vatos handling the business for 50 plus years. Of course, the white boys sprinkle them in, quickly jumped in the mix and got involved, okay? And I'm talking about the highest level. They got involved, and believe it or not, quietly as it's kept, there's been more bloodshed between the white boys and the norteños than any other groups, okay? There's been more bloodshed between the South and the South than any other groups. There's been more bloodshed between the North and the North than any other groups, right? But then you have the brothers, the blacks, the Africanos, okay? And I know a lot of people say, why do you call them African? We're not from Africa, so you're derived from there just like I'm derived from Mexico, right? But California is the state of the drive-by. Orale, and that's where we're from, okay? So I take it back, just like a Mexican-American, we got an African-American, we got the white boys are just Americans, right? According to them. Anyways, this is what we have. But the brothers, man, pretty much do their own thing. Let me tell you why people see them in prison as watered down and not as much as, okay? I don't see it that way. Don't get it misconstrued. Don't get it fucked up. I got love for the black and brown community. I got love for the brothers, man. Shit, Sasuke, I like motherfucking hog mog too.
Now, once again, he says, let me tell you why people see them as watered down and less than. He's talking about people in prison. Now, once again, like I mentioned in my last video, we know that people in prison don't always stay in prison. So I was saying that, of course, if some people feel like this in prison, when they release and go back to the streets, they take their feelings and their opinions and their attitudes with them back to the streets, and it shows.
Right, I fucks with it. Right. Anyways, the culture is what I look at. When it comes down to it, their group as a whole is fragmented. It's split up. okay? You have Kumi, 415, Jama, okay? The Muslims, the non-affiliates, meaning brothers that are locked up, say from out of state, or they just wasn't into the gang scene. They're considered non-affiliates. They're in there. They're brothers. They're going to rock with their peoples. But at the same time, they wasn't out there doing that, right? They was pimps. They was PIs, Holmes. They was PIs like T.I., you know, and they ain't trying to tell on no one. And then, of course, you have the Crips, the Bloods, Damus, Parus, things of that nature, okay? So you got this big carro of Africanos that are all fragmented into different splinter groups. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Same thing goes for like the whites. You have the Woods, the motherfucking skinheads, and of course you have the big organization that chop their whole shit off, right? People are fragmented into different groups. The difference with the other races, meaning like the Mexicans and the whites and the others and shit like that, is they stick together for power. La onda shit, right? They're all clicked together. All the differences that they have on the streets, all the different cliques and the different, they drop that to the wayside. They let that go and they fight under one bandera, one baño, one cause, one movement. Whereas the Africanos still stick to those core street gang beliefs. Nah, fuck that. On Pyro. This is the Pyro table, right? Crips are over there. Northern Crips, Southern Crips, and there's a big difference, okay? I know you like to say, Charlie Holmes, Crippin' is Crippin'. I know Crippin' ain't easy, but if somebody has to do it, and it's nothing but respect, I got nothing but love for the motherfucking Cripas. But at the same time, they are split up in prison into different groups. Now, when guerra comes, when war times come, that's when it goes along racial lines. That's when everyone forms together, everyone clicks up. It's like Play-Doh. Everyone molds to make a big old fucking piece, right? That's how it is. Now, I will tell you this. The reason why the blacks are the most hated group in the California Department of Corrections and throughout.
Drum roll, please.
The reason why the blacks are the most hated group in the California Department of Corrections and throughout the world, is because people have a bad taste. It's called fear of the unknown. World? Okay, it's called fear of the unknown. I'm sorry, man. It just is like that. You know, Vatos fear the Africanos. People are going to be mad at me right now. Look, I hear a ghetto bird helicopter in the background. That's how it really gets out here in the Valle, right? It's hot and people are shooting already. Early in the morning, shit. Today I got time, cut. Right? They're playing. Look, fear of the unknown. Okay? Everybody knows, and this is a fact, man. And I'm not stepping on my own people. I'm not hating on the raza. I'm not hating on the white boys. I'm not hating on everyone. When the Africanos come together and they're on that same page, Holmes, they're a very dangerous group. That's just a fact, bro. You'd be lying to yourself and lying to everyone else in the world if you don't say that most Africanos got hands. They do, bro. They're born with hands. That kid dumb fell out the womb with a six-pack and some hands. Okay? Now, there's other groups that have hands too, man. Don't get it twisted, man. It ain't like motherfuckers just beating people up. Charlie Holmes, stop lying to yourself, right? But two, the Africano brothers, man, when come together, are a very dangerous group, thinking on the same page, because they're about that action. They're definitely about that action. They get to the point in that linea in the sand where it's either action or bullying tactics, one or the other. It's a hard line to follow, right? And people see it that way. And people know when they're incarcerated, and I'm talking about convicts, if these vatos are on the same page, they become a very fucking dangerous adversary. So vatos are on them. And vatos hate. Vatos don't like it. Straight up. It's the truth. Okay, on the Mexican side of things, you have norteños and you have sureños, Southsiders and Northerners. Okay, you have vatos that are split up. They choose to split up along those lines. But lately, they've been blurring those lines. That's it, right? And people are shook up from the feet up, from the toenails on top to the top. They're shook up because people are like, fuck. It's always been known if the North and South came together, like literally came together and just let everything go. That's gay. See, they're going to have people's heads up their asses faster than a rabbit gets fucked. And no, all Mexicans ain't short running around like Oaxacans, right? Mexicans are with that.
Now, that's a statement right there. I agree with it as well. You know, I'm going to always keep it 100, man. I'm not going to let a certain situation change my feelings or dictate what I say out of fear that I need, or out of a feeling that I need to stand up for a particular race or whatever, man. It is what it is. The real is always going to be real. And I'm always keep it 100, regardless of who I'm keeping it 100 about.
Shit. Everybody knows they're quick to pick up steel. They're quick to run up on you. They don't give a fuck if you're in the program office. I guess the blackers will get it too, right? Anybody will get it. There will be no motherfucking barriers. People know that. The white boys, they know that. Very dangerous group in themselves, right? But they know deep down inside, so let's get the Mexicans to get together. Hey, Houston, we have problems, right? Their antennas are fucking up and wiggling right now. The wiggleization is real. And that's coming to fruition. Slowly but surely with this end to hostilities, it seems like the Mexicans are gravitating towards each other because, hey, I got to be down with the brown. I don't need brown pride, right? Yeah, be ready. Be afraid. Be very, acknowledge us, right? But when it comes to the Africano brothers, they're still fragmented and split up into these groups, okay? So it's a hate factor. Oh, it's definitely a hate thing. And not a hate like, Sasuke, hey, not that type of hate, right? It's a hating on type thing like, man, we don't want these brothers to get together because traditionally, from my experiences, when they get together, man, the bullying tactic starts to become involved. Motherfuckers start to get louder. Voices start to be heard, and it is what it is. Now, I'm not a racist person. I'm far from it. Sasuke, that's not the messy bar. Right there in the back, you know what I mean? Even if he is smoking A1 under the Richmond Bridge, I ain't tripping, man, because, hey, for the player in you, you know what I mean? I'll be bumping Earth, Wind, and Fire, Al Green, I wanna rock with you, motherfucking Michael, right? And you already know what it is with Prince. I fuck with the cultura. I like the culture. I like the music. I like Sasuke. I like the Warriors. Let's just pull up and pop. And the Lakers. Magic, right? It doesn't matter what race you are to me. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter. It matters the culture. If you're a real motherfucker, Holmes, and you're into your culture, man, I identify, okay? A lot of cultures nowadays have blended in. Everybody is a little bit of everybody. Stop lying to yourself. Hey, now fuck that over here. We're Mexican. This and Nivatos over there. African. Now fuck that, Holmes. So it's getting until your fucking sister comes home with the bucket. She's walking funny. You go to the front steps to meet your parents. She brought a big Africano with her. You know what I mean? You're like, to what degree of fucking is this, right? The realest degree. Sorry, spend like that. Just the way it is. The reason why they're the most hated group in prison. Bullshit. And I'm going to be straight up. There's no other rhyme or reason about it. Are people scared of them? Charlie, Holmes. Every group in prison holds their own. Nobody is scared of nobody. You know what? The only person the motherfuckers are scared of, and they're not even really scared, but they are, but they won't say it. I ain't going against the guns. That motherfucking gun. Whoever has that gun, that's the motherfucker everyone is shook up about. They ain't shook up about each other. Anybody can get it in prison. You know, it's a respect thing. As long as you're a respectful motherfucker, they ain't tripping. But the blacks are always a little bit different. They're always a little bit looked at different. And I always wondered why. Okay, and I like to be real. Realer than real deal, Holyfield. I don't like to sugarcoat shit and bullshit you. And I won't bullshit you, gente, when I say, man, yeah, they're looked at different in prison, man. You know, if you listen to people's stories, especially prison YouTubers, people that have been there and done that, people that have walked them lines, walked them yardas, when it comes to the Africano brothers, they always say, oh yeah, the brothers won't do this, or the brothers won't do that, or the brothers will do this, or the brothers will do that. Hey, what they will and won't do is none of our pinchy business. I've seen some brothers run up on motherfuckers with the double up, right? And then I see some brothers say, fuck that, there's some hitting the ground. You know, it just depends on the character of the man. It doesn't necessarily reflect on his race or how he looks. See, we're all the human race, Holmes. We're all people. Eyes, ears, big old people. Winner is, right? We're all that type of people. At the end of the day, it's the mentality. What's bred into you, your culture, your history. It becomes redundant. Hit him, right? I know on the northern side of things, we were taught awareness. Stay aware of everybody. Everyone can get it. Everyone's a target. Make sure that you're on point. Make sure that you're fucking working out. Make sure you're up to par. Make sure you educate yourself. Hey, fuck these other vatos that say, Chucky, get up. Spider, get down, right? This was how I was laced up. On the southern side, it wasn't too far off. They were doing the same exact thing, you know? They had their mentality and their reasoning. Now, I could understand coming from a Southsider's point of view back then. There was a lot of racial tension going on in the Calles. You had Florencia versus the East Coast. You had a lot of Compton going off on each other. You had a lot of Africano gangs and a lot of Southern gangs, Mexicanos, bang, bang, right? Going at it with each other on the Calles, and that kind of leaked into the system. But what we had to understand and adhere to was the system, and the Calles were the Calles. These are the streets, homie. You know what I mean? Fuck you, your majesty. This is just how it was. Okay? But on the southern side, I will say from an outside looking in, from a distance, from the other side of the yarda, there was that tension there. You know, I know a lot of the Africano brothers like to say, oh man, why y'all rock with the whites if the whites are against, you know, if they're racist, right? Who said they rock with the whites? Who said the whites wasn't trying to rock with them, right? Let me tell you, I've seen more pleito between Southerners and whites than anybody on planet Earth. I didn't say Earth, I said Earth, right? On planet Earth, on power, I have. It's a fact. It's actual and factual, homie. Like Bruce Lee, let me get my motherfucking nunchucks on, right? And I ain't talking Chuck Norris. That white guy could fight, but at the same time, he didn't want that funk with that motherfucking Asian. That Asian was different, right? He didn't want that smoke. Look, straight up, real talk, Southerners and blacks traditionally have had their issues. The difference with Norteños and blacks was we grew up kind of similar, urban-based. Gay area, Vallero shit. You know, even the Africanos in the valley had a little bit of flavor in them, in a Mexicano flavor, and vice versa. You know what I mean? We all rocked low riders homes. We all did Dickies homes. We all did Cortezes. We all did Benz. There's an extensive history there. And I know I was reading my comments the other day, and the Africano brother was like, hey, that stems back from the Zusu days. We was rocking Zoot suits too. Just watch the movie Malcolm X. They was Zoot suiting like motherfuckers. Spike Lee was getting his motherfucking wiggle on, right? And I said, I understand. I'm not saying one culture stole from another culture. There's always that, hey, no, we were the first to do it. We were the first to do it. Fuck everybody. Nobody was the first to do nothing. We will never know because we weren't there. We all identify how we all identify. We all adapt. It's a big blending situation. Homie, we're from the United States of America. Sitting over here, everybody does everything. Cornrows, gold teeth, motherfucking Dickies and bands. Oh my. You know what I mean? In a fucking low. It is what it is. Does it make it right or wrong? I don't see nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I don't do, that I don't condone, is using derogatory terms. Like the N-word, calling vatos from down south out of their name and calling vatos from up north out of their name. I don't agree with that because I think that makes you less of a man if you have to disrespect another man without putting the thang in his motherfucking mascara. That's just me. Sounds good, but who am I? Just a voice in the wind. I'm for the people, by the people. When I say people, I mean all people. Brothers, you're included. I told you, there's room in the back. Why we gotta sit on the back of the bus? Who said that? Sitting on the back of the bus. There ain't even no bus. It's a 65 Super Sport. That's it. Just be happy. Or you can go over there and ride with your homeboy in a Prius. I ain't tripping. I'm quick to snip the clip and get you spitting. You want to roll or what? Anyways, the whole gist of this, before I get sidetracked, is why are blacks the most hated on group in prison? I don't know. I don't know, but it's a fact. They are, man. They are. But if you really think about it, they're not as oppressed as people would like to believe or say. Okay, because the Norteño group, being one of the smallest organizations in group, man, have had to go through a lot of struggle. A lot of struggle, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I have so much love for the Africano brothers, man, is without a lot of their help, man, it would have been a whole lot worse. That's it. There's been stories that have been told, man, where Norteños pulled up, man. Shout, one or two homeboys, 400 Southsiders on the yacht that they already know it's all bad. Homes, they're up shit creek with half a paddle. The homeboy don't know how to row that boat, right? It's about to get ugly. The Mongolian on Tongpolian flowing. And man, the Africano brothers are like, hey, don't trip, sliding them pieces, right? So I listened to Dubs the other day and he was like, the brothers wouldn't even had good pieces if the Norteños didn't make them. There's actual and factual facts to that, okay? A lot of the brothers, man, weren't making pieces. That wasn't their stilo. Now, prison is prison and people use metal, right? But a lot of the brothers were not making pieces. They were about this action, okay? But they quickly understood that in prison, it stopped being about this and more about death, okay? People weren't giving fades. People weren't trying to take fades. The hands-on policy was off. It was more about metal. And a lot of the Africano brothers, man, went to the Mexican side because, hey, it's a known fact. Mexicans know how to make fucking good-ass pieces. And there's brothers that know how to too, man. Don't get it twisted. But for the most part, a lot of the brothers went to the northern side who were loose alliance and said, hey, man, we need to show us the way. You know, show us the way. So I said, fuck it, hook it up. And they were making pieces for each other. But I have been on yardas where without the brothers, man, a lot of the communication wouldn't have been facilitated. A lot of the love wouldn't have been showed, man. A lot of fucking, you know, motherfuckers would have been incommunicado without the brothers. I remember when I was in Susanville, if it wasn't for the brothers helping us out, man, we wouldn't have been able to talk into different compas because we were slammed down on lockdown. You know, it's just the way it was. And the brothers gave us a paro and showed us love. And when we got back on the yada, we showed them love. It was all righteous. It's called respect. In prison, it's all about respect. You have to respect, especially your adversary. That better be the motherfuckers you're respecting the most, because they're the ones that will get highly disrespectful, you know, when you least expect it. So those are the people that you need to kind of lean towards. Lean on me when you're not strong. Or even if you are strong, just lean on a motherfucker. Show them some love. But the Africano brothers are feared by some, hated by most, but respected by all. Hear that? Should I repeat it? Yo. Nah, I'm not going to repeat it, right? You heard it the first time. You can rewind this shit. They're feared, okay? Fear of the unknown. They're not feared on a man-to-man, chest-to-chest combat war type shit. They're feared because people are like, you know what? These Vatos traditionally, right, have some type of hate in their heart for other people. It goes all ways, man. Let's stop sugarcoating and adding preservatives to the bullshit. Everybody don't like everybody. Okay, I get tired of this race shit. I get tired of, oh, this, and we started this, and you guys did that. And I'm talking about everybody, man. I'm not talking about the Africano saying, I'm talking about everybody. And we did this, we did that. So what? Does it make you better because you're the ones that fucking learned how to make Bulls jersey? Does it make it better because fucking Rodman and motherfucking Jordan were black? Does it make it better because their coach was white? Does it make it better because their owner was... Nah, no one's better, Holmes. At the end of the day, guess what? I'm rocking this shit, so I don't give a fuck who played, who did it, who made the moves. I spent my hard-earned money, you know what I mean, to represent. But Gunnar, you dress like an Africano. How do Africanos dress? I don't know. I can't call it, right? I don't know. I'm not along those disrespectful terms and disrespectful line. That's not the way I was raised, and that's not the way I raised myself. You got to understand, I was raised up to a certain point. I got incarcerated. I raised myself. Brothers backed my play. I backed their play. Brothers didn't back my play. I didn't back their play. They got off. I got off. You want to get off? Let's get off. That's it. Right? It ain't all about a black and brown thing. It's about a black and brown thing. Get your shit together, baby. Right? As far as them being in prison and being the most hated group, they are. Why? I can't tell you. That's the number one question, man. It's prior to my time, and it's always going to be after my time, you know? The brothers are a hated on group, but the brothers hate just as much as anyone else. Don't get it fucked up, okay? I hate when people always try to make things racial. I hate when people always try to fucking, well, what about me? What the fuck about you? That's it. Go out there and get a job just like me. Go out there and hustle. Move fast with a purpose. And most brothers will, and most Mexicanos will, but some won't. There's lazy fuckers, and there's hardworking fuckers. And at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide who you're going to be and who you're going to rock with. So let's get my blood pressure's boiling right now. Oh, pow! Boom! We just keeping it real. Anyways, with that being said, that's my spin on it. That's my take on it, man. Nothing but love for everybody. I know I'm going to get a little bit of hate. But at the same time, I would expect nothing less. With that being said, man, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you go out there and you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for your people. And my people are all the same people. You know what I mean? According to, I think, whoever made us, right? I can't call it. My dad was... And then he made me, I came out and said, oh, for the people, by the people, right? You know what it is, man. If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe. Thumbs up one time for your mind. If you don't, you get that thumbs down. Heavy is the head, where's the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, which is the betterment of all people coming together as one. Raza, stand up. We need to unite this shit, okay? Because if not, the blacks are going to get us. Bang, bang. Respects to the brothers, man. You know what it is. Bang, bang.
Now, I know that video was quite lengthy, and Gunnar was a little bit all over the place, but I hope you guys stuck around. Like I said, I felt it was important to show that video in its entirety because Gunnar had 22 minutes and 15 seconds is how long that video was to clearly articulate and make his point. It was concise, and not once did he say that the blacks are hated on in prison because they are at war with themselves or they're hated on by other blacks. He clearly said, I heard it along with you guys, that the blacks are not only the most hated in prison, but they're the most hated around the world. So for him now suddenly to come back and reverse his position, do a complete 180 on a video that he done 2 years ago, it's definitely head scratching, man. You know, I just got to keep it real. This is not a white thing. This is not a black thing. This is not a Mexican thing. This is a video, man, where a man clearly said what he said. And now for whatever reason, he's trying to reverse his position. He said that Dubs is his dog and he's going to back his play, right or wrong. You know, and I said on my opinion on that, man. I'm not backing my homie if I believe he's wrong, unless things get physical. Other than that, I'm condoning his BS. You know, if I back my homie's play when I believe he's wrong, even if he's not wrong, but if I believe he's wrong, then what type of dude am I in terms of keeping it real and doing what's right? So I'm just gonna follow my homie even though I believe he's wrong. Like I say, I want to be respectful, man. I thought of many different ways, I could go with this video. I could clown, I could do some things because I definitely appreciate Gunner's clowning. People don't really know that I'm a complete clown myself, and if you watch some of my earlier videos, I was clowning and this and that. And then you do have people who are super sensitive in this world, right? So, but yeah, it's clear in this video, man, he said what he said. He meant what he meant. So for him to suddenly come back and change his position in the midst of controversy is head scratching, man. I don't want to say anything that's gonna quote unquote influence or lead the people out there watching, because you guys have great minds. You guys can make up your opinions and your minds for yourself. Like I said, in this particular video, man, it shouldn't be about race. It shouldn't be about, anything other than keeping it real, man. Seeing what the man done, you clearly heard what he said, man. But anyway, it's your boy 16 in life. Resume normal program.
I'm just saying, that's not what I meant on the video. What I meant on the video is the brothers are hated by the brothers, the Mexicans are hated by the Mexicans.
I just think you're lying. No, so your claim is dismissed for lying.